Scoom. All right.
Dude, just give me 5 minutes. I just want to help you real quick.
What's up, everybody? My name's Big Scoom,
Tellage on the Don.
and this is
Scoom speak.
Why do people sometimes continue a course of action even after recognizing it is wrong?
You know what's interesting is I watch a lot of like Narcos and stuff like that on TV. And like they ask people like that too, like, oh, like you know that you're ruining people's lives and the crazy outcomes that could all go down this rabbit hole, of course. And yeah, they don't ever they ask them questions like that too, like, oh, well, then what makes you continue to do this then, right? And stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Um, it's got to be the outcome, right? I don't know. I don't think that this is something like it's as simple as one answer kind of thing. Like I think there's a niche or something kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess there's really no one answer to anything we say, but one thing
Yeah,
I've heard more from like social media type outlets is that you think a lot of it would have to do with the person who's like giving you the information. It's like that saying where it's like, oh, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
yeah,
So I feel like some of that can come into this question. Like if someone maybe gets proved that they've been wrong or that they are wrong, depending on who it comes from or how exactly it's said,
yeah,
probably
right.
plays a big impact on whether they would change or not.
Of course. Yeah, I don't know. I think it really depends on what that person doing the wrong action is, what their goal is, right? Like maybe they don't even see it that way, right? Like you could say, oh, well, you just look at, I don't know. So I keep wanting to think to like an executioner, right? They're just doing what they're being paid to do, and it's a task and all this, and it's just like, oh, go. Your manager tells you to go mop the floor. It's like, okay, yeah, go. All right, go kill this guy who's, um, on death row, right? Oh, okay. The executioner just goes and does a job. It depends on how they view it too. Like, I don't know. And it's crazy too. I know that you've asked me this in the past too. It's like, oh, at what point do we say my hourly wage and me making a living is worth or not worth me destroying another human's life? I know you asked me that question in like early episodes. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be an executioner.
It's interesting because when I'm like thinking about this more, it's like, why ever admit that you're wrong? Or like, why ever change your actions?
Dude, I know. I just had a really good conversation with someone else earlier today, and I was like, "Oh, it's part of accountability and all this." And they brought a great point. They were like, "Yeah, but if you can get away with not being accountable, why start? I'm getting everything I need. Someone's providing it for me somewhere, and why start? Right? Like if I cry and complain about it enough, I'm gonna get what I need still, and why change?" And this person, their background was like they used to help homeless people and fight in the court system for these people and all of this. So some kind of social worker. I don't can't say much more than that. I don't know too much more, but I thought that was even more interesting. If you're getting away with it, why change?
You know, my mind just went somewhere else, but it's like, isn't like everything and like aren't all we're doing is just like manipulating each other?
Yeah, right. I know, dude. I've been thinking this, and it's so sick. I've been thinking this like to myself a lot often. Like, dude, what? Like, there's manipulation tactics and everything. Commercials on TV. Like, dude, it's so bad. And that's all we do. That's marketing. That's, you know, indoctrinating, so much stuff. But yeah, it's all manipulation. I think it has to do with the big system that we all live in and we're raised in and stuff. Like, we're used to being gaslit on the news and told what to do and told how to think. It's so crazy. But yeah, it's all manipulation. I don't open my mouth and I'm trying to manipulate the way you think, what you might do tomorrow. But of course, all of that's free will and you're able to do whatever you want still. But yeah, honestly, right? Like persuade the way you think, even if you understand the way that I'm trying to explain something or think about it, I'm still trying to manipulate you to that point, right? And sometimes we call it influence or manipulation.
Yeah, that's exactly how I meant it on the individual level. And it's like, and I feel like intellect has to play a point in this at some point too. It's like if you're highly intelligent or fairly intelligent, it's like, why are you even talking if you're not in some sense trying to manipulate someone? Is
Exactly.
that like a cynical way to look at it, or is
It's
that exactly what we're doing, or is that wrong?
I think it's the latter, and
So you think
I
it's
always
wrong?
go no. The latter as in is it cynical? I think is what you said. I don't remember the order now you said in it, but I knew I mentally chose number two.
All right.
And I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I think it has to do with the intentions inside of us because we can manipulate or influence one where there's a lesson in both of them, right? I can manipulate you to go do something, you do it to, I would say maybe the standard or whatever I explained it to, right? The outcome, there was still a lesson in it. Like, okay, well, fudge, I'm not going to listen to what that person tells me to do anymore. Or this person helped me understand something different. And maybe there's a different way I can learn about this, right? There's always two sides of that too. And if it's wrong, I don't know. That's just, it goes along with intention.
I mean, I'm just like getting all metaphysical about it. I'm like, it's all communication manipulation. And then, like, if someone were coming to you, because you're bringing up intention, if someone came to you and was like, "Oh my goodness, Tyler, I have something to tell you. I promise you, I'm not going to manipulate you, but I need you to hear what I'm saying and to whatever, internalize it, take it seriously, and go from there." I mean, if someone said that to me, the immediate red flag in my head would be like, "Oh, well, this person's definitely trying to manipulate me."
I agree with you. Why in the world would you walk up to me and the first thing you're trying to do is sell me that I can let my guard down?
Well, that's why I'm saying, is it no way around it? Is all communication just manipulation?
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. And yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Wow, that's crazy. So then it's like gets dark in some sense. It's like, all right, well, if that's true, you might as well get as good at it as you can.
Great salesmen are mass manipulators, aren't they? They're just really good at it, right? Like communication. And because I choose certain words in order of the order I pick them, like understanding this, the last word that I say is the last word you think of. So even my hand movements, like, yeah, it's being a great manipulator in a way, or what we call it is influence.
It's funny because, and I've said this before, and I heard this in a book somewhere, but they were talking about how like Christopher Columbus or whatever was like the greatest salesperson ever because he's like, all right, guys, we're gonna go on a boat. We don't know, like, I don't exactly know where we're going, right? There might be people who want to kill us. We might die. I'm not gonna pay you. And like everyone's like, all right, yeah, let's give it a try. Like, that's hard sell. But anyways, here's my next question. What allows a system or a person to recognize an error in the first place? It must be emotion. It must be. Has to be.
Our own emotion detects if we've made a mistake.
Or it could be the emotion from the other person, or like from someone else. Like you've done something or said something. Either emotion sprang up from you that was negative, or emotion sprang up from them that made them come talk to you about it or something. Or I mean, because now think of it like this. Or what else could it be? What else could possibly let you know you're doing something wrong? If it's not in here and it's not someone that's telling you, or some other body language, like they don't explicitly have to use words to tell you, but you could see on their face or something. Where else could it come from?
I've always heard it like this. Like if you have to ask if you're doing the right thing, you most likely are. Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I recently heard that too, and that's what I thought. That was my exact reaction. I was like, I don't I don't typically double ask myself if I'm doing the right thing. And what I immediately said in response to that was when I'm driving to work in the morning, I'm not questioning myself if this is what I should be doing. Right? It just feels natural and like that's what you do. That's what you do. If you work a 9 to 5 job, that's what you do. You drive to work in the morning. And while you're doing it, you're not asking yourself, am I doing the right thing? So, yeah, I don't know. And because of as much as I don't know of that side, when you know you're doing the wrong thing is it's equally as much difficult as a question to me too. I don't know.
I thought I had the answer. I don't think about these answers to these questions. I just come up with the questions, but other than you knowing or feeling it in yourself, and other than someone else letting you know that it's wrong, where else could it possibly come from? It would either have to be you or them.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's an emotion. Doing something wrong is a feeling? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, no, no. It's how we've been talking a lot lately off camera about all the embedded and embodied knowing that
Yes.
that we that we play with without words and conscious cognitive, you know, little games. It's just like something that's inside, whatever that even is.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just using the
yep.
word emotion because like you do something wrong, either whatever that thingy is will let you know kind of inside a little bit, or someone will see you do it. They will get that little feeling or emotion of like, whoa, like that doesn't make me feel good or whatever. I don't like how that, whatever, some sort of emotion. Emotion's weird. And
Yeah.
then now they could like show you that by like looking away or like coming to you or something like that. That's what I meant
Some
about the
some
emotion.
kind of reaction that shows you like this is revolting, right? Kind of thing. Well, either accepting or not accepting, right? And yeah. So yeah, I agree. That kind of goes into an episode we recorded just the other day too of the social acceptance and the all how all that works. So yeah, I agree. So it's the emotion and it's a gathered emotion with people around us. It isn't just a thing that only we feel on ourselves. It's like, okay, well, how did I experience it this way? How did that make you feel? And
Yep.
then we decipher. Well, I saw this, and when I saw this, I thought of that. And now thinking about it, yeah, I felt like this, right?
It almost goes back to the first question because it's like if someone came to you and was like, "Hey, man, that was pretty wrong," and I could feel how wrong it was, and I'm letting you know. But if you don't feel like it's wrong, then because this was the first question, it's like, oh, like why would people keep doing wrong things and never change it or whatever? I guess it's just like, well, yeah, I don't feel it's wrong, so then I guess that's the answer to the first question too. Anyways, my next
Jeez.
question is a mistake defined by the outcome or by the reason or reasoning that produced it?
Dang, that's a fire question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I say the outcome, though. The outcome is when you really find out that the mistake was made, right? I don't, because why would we set ourselves up to make a mistake in the first place, right? You said it had to, the second part of that question was, is it something that was happening along the way to get to the end result? Is that kind of how you meant it? Or is that just how I bagged it personally?
No, I mean, it's interesting because I just like went to murder for some reason.
Nice.
It's like, all right, well, thinking about murdering isn't a crime, but
Right.
committing the act of murdering is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, where does evil fit in that? Like, because right, it's obviously, you know, more punishable if you think about doing the crime and then go ahead and do it, as opposed to
Yeah.
like not premeditated.
Right, right, right. Just doing it
So
off
it's
the
like,
spur of the moment.
so like, I mean, what's I don't know. I guess the best. Where does evil fit into this? Because it's like, because in some
Well,
sense, murder.
evil,
Well, hold up really quick, because murder
yeah.
is not a good one here because murder is objectively wrong. Because remember, you said outcome, right?
Yep.
So let's say I do something that I think is wrong to you, but you don't think I did anything wrong. So that like disputes it being outcome.
Dang. So, is this where my answer of intention goes? I don't know. Like, oh well, were you intending? Because, like you said, like, well, my mind is going everywhere. Can you ask the question again? So I don't want to like, dude. I need bumpers here because I'm going everywhere.
I didn't even really bag this, but the point I just made is actually from Nietzsche. But the question was, is a mistake defined by the outcome or by the reasoning that produced it? Now, to Cap, you said outcome, and then
Yep.
I brought up the old argument of, well, if the person interpreting the outcome doesn't think it was bad or a mistake or wrong, does that absolve me of all wrongness and badness that I did?
No, I think the way that we would define this is just by, well, how did it make you feel? Right? It isn't someone else's emotions, and the way you make me feel, the way you make me feel is my business, right? Like if I have an emotion from any person, that emotion that person gives me is my business, not so much of theirs, right? Maybe I'm going too far away from this, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. So then my answer would be no. If you personally feel like you did something wrong to somebody and you felt bad about it, still, even if that person said, "Oh, dude, don't even worry about it," and you still feel bad, that's an issue you have to work through, not so much they misinterpreted your outcome, but you're not letting it go still. Like you're worried too much about yourself.
I'm just playing devil advocate here because I do agree with you for the most part, but
Yeah.
to be not controversial, like whatever, an opponent. But if you do something to me and I say, don't worry about it, completely forget about it, it's totally cool, I don't even care, blah, 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 blah. Why should you not take that to the bank and run with it? Why should you be like, yeah, what am I being all whatever self-critical on myself for? That person explicitly told me that it's no big deal. Maybe I'm wrong for thinking I did something wrong. Maybe I helped them. They told me I did. Maybe I did something good. Why should I take what they said and yeah, you get what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe this is that situation where like right and wrong is just inside of you personally. Like maybe there's no actual objective of, oh, that's right and that's wrong. I couldn't take this to a court case. Like, right? Like I'm kind of getting more there to where this is more of a nihilistic kind of breakdown. Maybe not nihilistic, but like empty. You know what I'm saying? Like just null and void. Like either way, emotions or just motivations or something short term to get you to the next step and whatever that might be. You could go down, oh, I'm so sorry for this person, and go down the sorrowful emotions and end up, crashing your plane because you're sad about it. But the other person's living life picking flowers. Oh yeah, that person didn't bother me. Flowers everywhere. I don't know. That's just.
Well, I think it actually isn't null and void because of kind of where you brought it, where like, yeah, you can like our old podcast, you can rely on people to help you determine what's good, but you can't rely on people to determine what's bad because that's up for interpretation.
Right.
So it does have to come from me or from that person.
Because if you went through something, right, and you tell me, oh, I went through this thing, but I didn't firsthand experience it myself as you did, can we only reflect on our personal experiences is where that question and where what I just said brought me to my question next here. Can we only reflect on our own personal experiences?
I would say in a very technical and complex sense, yes,
I agree.
absolutely.
Do you wish to elaborate here? I mean, I don't have any notes written down about it, but I can kind of level through it a little bit by myself, but not great. I'm still learning.
It's actually extremely technical because in cognitive science, there's 4 levels of knowing. It's going to be participatory, perspectival, procedural, and then propositional. Now, and it's actually in that order too, in some sense. And the participatory knowing is basically where, well, between the participatory and the perspectival is where values sprout. And once values directly are sprouted from what you've done and what you see, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't something that could be talked about. It has to be done. It has to be done.
It has to be experienced.
To see the actual values, or better, to feel the actual values. And then from there, then you can act or not with the values that you've acted out. You can act or not with the values that you've first had to act out to determine what would be good or what would be bad or what would be this or what would be that. And then, only then, can you propose what is good or what's bad.
Yeah. Or how it would even make you feel personally in an experience. Maybe because you did a great job wording that and everything. I would have butchered it, but yeah, I would have gone down the same path, the rabbit hole, different, perspectives and the personal. You had words for them. I didn't. That was fantastic. But yeah, yep. Can we only reflect on our personal experiences was the question. And yeah, the way you answered that was exactly right. And yes, the answer was yes. And like you said, it was there's a lot that goes into it.
Everything needs value. Like you can't have beauty if it's not true or true.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And because it's like that topic we were talking about, like, oh, if you were in a relationship, like, would you be willing to get rid of the beautiful relationship if it was all fake, if it wasn't true, if they were cheating on you the whole time? Is that a beautiful relationship if it's not true? No, you need truth first.
I agree.
And it's like, all right, well, then you can't have truth if you don't have like value, like values.
Yeah.
And like that's where it gets like crazy super subjective. And you can't have these subjective values to determine all of this without actually going and doing it.
Yep. Personally being interactive with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. It's super tough, but
welcome to School Speech, everybody.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Dude, I love it. That was a fire segment. My bad. Go ahead.
My next question, you'll like this. Okay. Does the ability to correct mistakes depend more on knowledge or on humility?
Boo! Let's see. I do love this question. I'm going to say the latter. It has to be humility. You have to be able to level yourself to the idea of, well, I'm not the best at everything in the world, so of course I'm going to mess this up. And once I mess this up, take the accountability on myself to, okay, can somebody teach me how to do it the proper way? And then I'll take it from here, right? And go from there, man. Love it. But yeah, that's my answer. It's humility.
I agree 1,000% because it's like,
without humility, would you know to go back and study what you didn't know? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going to bring it to, because it's like, I don't need to know the answer to know I made a mistake. But yeah, I need to know I made a mistake to at least to potentially go fix it.
Yeah. How far do you think that goes before it's like, okay, I've noticed that I made a mistake, right? So not every mistake is as immediate as I'm doing the dishes and a plate falls and breaks, and now I need to fix it because you just throw it away and sweep the floor. But you know what I mean? How far does a mistake go? Because not everyone is as immediate as my first one, right? So how far does it have to go before you start to say, A, I need help with this, B, I'm doing this wrong and messing it up, or C, I need to relearn what I thought I knew to correct this mistake.
It's like what we talked about off camera a little bit earlier. Like, I'm bringing it to other people, and that's like we're talking about like self-isolation, but I think it's other people, brother. It's like, I think in some sense we really need someone else to really talk about or show us or expose us to the mistake.
Or even the right way, or even a different way, right? Because you can be the first person to try something. Maybe that's not how I word it. Maybe because there's nothing new under the sun, right? But maybe this was your first time trying something new, right? How long can that go? I guess we really see this in bodybuilding, don't we? How long something can go trained wrong before corrected. We know that can actually go on prolonged for a while, unless if, like you're saying, there's a big brother aspect or something along the lines to teach us the correct way. Would this be paternal or maternal responsibility? I would think, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you brought it there. It's like it's so weird, man. You're someone who has like a bunch of knowledge that I don't know, you seem born with, dude. But I think Hermes Trismegistus, he always says that there's like
That's my
gender
boo.
and there's gender in everything. It's a hermetic law. There's aspects of masculinity or male and female in everything.
If you guys ever are curious, you can visit our Instagram page at Big Scoom Speech, and you can find a lot of these book titles there, the photo of it, and a lot of the Stoic quotes that you might see here.
Another thing that I want to ask you that you made me think of, if hypothetically, if you were the only person on the planet forever,
oh my gosh, how is that possible?
Can you make any mistakes then?
Heck no, dude. There's no guidelines
Exactly.
anywhere. Everything's a freaking blank notepad, and you got the pen, and you just scribble a line. No way.
Exactly.
No way.
Exactly.
There has to be guidelines. There has to be, like we always call it, the game that we all agree to play, the rules and the guidelines we stay inside of. Yeah, that's the same reason like a lot of stuff happens. It's the only reason why we can really be a peaceful society, man, and it's super interesting.
Exactly. So that answers the question. I mean, you're like, oh, what? Your question was something along the lines of, I actually didn't really get it that much, but it was kind of like, when does a mistake stand out, like, into a bigger mistake, or like when does a mistake become so big that it like transcends a tiny small mistake? Yeah, and it's when it factors in other people.
Yes, I agree. Because if not, then we can always agree with ourselves. I do it all day long, buddy. Dude, yeah. I'm the most agreeable person I know.
It's like, if your mistake isn't affecting somebody else, is it a huge mistake? Is it that big of a mistake? Sounds like
I agree with that. So then the answer is no, huh? If it isn't hurting somebody else, possibly, like if you're doing it out of just like, oh, I'm not intending anything to be bad at all, and it's just whatever you do, it could possibly be helpful to more than people than you think, right? Like this podcast, we probably have no idea in the future how many people this show will help.
It's funny. It's what we were talking about earlier today. Damn, we talk a lot, but it was what we were talking about earlier today, where basically, since there's like unlimited moves on the chessboard, you have to like adopt beliefs so you can start moving. And since we have no absolute knowledge of what the truth is, Like we have to adopt all these beliefs that in some sense literally and definitionally have to be incorrect. And like that's just
until corrected, we don't know. But yeah.
Say it again?
Until corrected, we don't know. It's that
Exactly.
these beliefs are one or the other. You don't know. We just think like, here's the thought, here's what I think, here's how I personally feel about it. But who knows, right? Dude, I'm no professor, nothing, dude. So have fun with this episode.
That's why it's like that's why it gets crazier to think that we can all coexist. It's like all 7 billion of us with wrong, incorrect beliefs, like trying to coexist and move around each other. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, we have no idea, buddy. It's so crazy. All I know, one thing's for true, one thing super true: drink water. That's the only truth I definitely know.
It's like, I mean, I guess you can find the answer. Earlier in this podcast, I was like, oh, well, why even, like, if you are wrong, like, why even, acquiesce or whatever? Why even, like, voluntarily agree that you're wrong and go ahead and change? But the answer we know now is because it's affecting someone else. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, yep. And, well, if you're not a total piece of garbage, then yeah, you're going to change, right? Like, maybe not you're going to change, but you're not going to do that one specific action anymore, right? Like, oh, I'm sorry. I understand that made you feel that way. I won't do it again. But unless if, like, you're a sociopath or really just don't care, like, my ego, my pride, my goals says, you feel that way? Okay, cool, fine. I'll do it over here. I don't have to stop what I'm doing. I just have to relocate myself, right? I can still do whatever it was, right? Ripping a dirt bike in the neighborhood might annoy all your neighbors. They're crying about it. Okay, then I'm going to go rip my dirt bike someplace else just so then, right? Like, I'm not going to be a nuisance to you. Fine, you brought it to my attention. You didn't like this. I'm still going to do it, though, just somewhere else. Unless if you're a real piece of garbage and you're still like, I don't even care if they're complaining. And, do what you got to do.
Yeah, I like where you brought it, and I'm going to summarize it because I like that your mind immediately jumped there. We kind of discovered together that through dialogue that the biggest mistakes or big mistakes are when it's affecting other people, and so the opposite side of that is, well, if you are affecting other people by your mistakes, the only reason why you would continue to keep doing those mistakes is because you don't care about the other people,
or your goals really don't. Their problem and then your goal is so opposite that you're like, I don't care what kind of force comes, I'm gonna eat that. Oh well, right? Like, you don't have to be a piece of garbage to do that, but like, read between the lines here, guys.
Well, I would actually argue that it's the same thing. It's the same thing. There is no goal that you could have that would forego the people you affect by your mistakes if the goal wasn't, I don't care what other people feel or think about what I do.
Okay. I agree. Yep. And that's the only reason why it would forego, like you said, or else you would just completely stop. Like, yeah, I get it. And trust me, being an arborist for a long time, we got a lot of complaints about our chainsaws and chippers being too loud. But hey, buddy, sorry, we got a tree over here that's still got to come down. So the goal still stands larger than you. So we still continue.
It's interesting because we're talking about games and stuff like that, and just how, like, this whole conversation, and it's like I hear a lot online how, like, psychopathy and psychopaths can be defined as, like, people who only want to play a game once with you.
Okay.
Do you see any way how those things are, like, correlated?
Before you play a game one time, do you have the idea? Me, I don't play games. At least I don't play organized games, right? I don't play games like checkers, board games, and stuff like this. So I'm going to try to break it down here. We're talking about, do you play this game with only the intention of playing just one time and then never seeing this game again?
That's what the psychopath does. And I want to hear you keep going, but I just want
Mm.
to define something for this conversation. I'm using game as the way that we typically will use games, where that is essentially one or more parties
Sure.
voluntarily agree to enter into an arena,
Mm.
essentially, that has rules and guidelines that, again, that we have agreed to take part in.
Okay,
That's
sure.
that's a game in this conversation.
Sure.
Now, they say the psychopath will enter into that little arena voluntarily to abide by those rules with other people or the other parties, but only are planning to do it one time and then get out.
That's super interesting. So now thank you for your clarification. I didn't know that. But let me know. So now again, what was your question? I'm trying to
Yep. I know we're going to going out of this episode, but the question is, do you see how that and psychopathy or psychopaths are correlated? How those fit together? How those map onto each other?
I do not know because obviously psychopathy is rare. Well, maybe not as rare as we would like to say the word, right?
No, it is rare.
Okay, so
It's
it's rare.
crazy rare.
And so this doesn't happen often, right? So I don't I would like to agree. I can see how they're correlated, but maybe we're gonna have to break it a little bit more before I can fully agree. I'm not passionately agreeing with this yet.
So it's like, I guess the main part in this, I'm not just going to say the answer either, but the main part is that there's rules and guidelines that must be followed voluntarily.
I agree.
So there's that to preface. And the other
Yes.
preface is how we actually started this podcast again. All communication is manipulation.
Yes.
So the person who is and then the other third point that we made already in this podcast is that all our beliefs, basically all of them, are wrong, incorrect, or just not right.
Right.
So when you put
Or
all
not
three,
busted at least.
not what?
Or not busted, right?
Yeah, that's a good one too, actually. Yeah, that's really good. So if you put all those three things together, it's like, all right, I'm I'm entering into this
Okay.
voluntarily.
Sure.
I'm gonna make a bunch of mistakes,
Right.
and since we're in a game now, I'm gonna be manipulating you as well, because it's all communication is manipulation.
Okay. And you ask all of these 3 points to get to the conclusion of what's your full circle here? I'm trying to catch up.
Why is that like a psychopathic trait? Like the one
Hmm.
to planning to just play one time and get out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know either. I was gonna ask, like, aren't we all that? Because how do you know if you're gonna like this game enough to continue? Right? Why would I want to do this again? You know? I know you and I talk about it personally all the time. We would love to be back in old age Rome and be part of those lectures that they used to go through with Socrates and Aristotle and all these people. So I'm trying to, I don't know why you would, I don't know. Maybe it would be, why do they correlate as psychopathy? And that I want to say,
We could try reverse engineering it and saying, all right, let's say it's like someone with like normal emotions and stuff, not a psychopath.
well, either way, I was going to correlate those two together anyway. Still, I agree. I want to know how many of us are undiagnosed psychopaths, right? And I also want to know, which that's an answer you and I can't answer. I don't know. But also, why would you start a game at all with like, all right,
Now
now,
you're bagging it. Now you're bagging it.
yeah, why would you, like, unless if you're playing an organized sport like baseball, football, soccer, you're not going to probably typically agree to go back and forth and do this consistently for a season or a couple years, maybe, a few weeks. So I don't know. There's so many levels to this, and it's so interesting. I love it.
You got
So
the answer. You actually
yeah,
said
well,
the
I
answer.
know you got something to say, so let it rip. What are you thinking now?
You said the answer.
Okay, what was it? What part?
When you asked why knowingly go into a game one time to probably try to win or whatever, but why go into a game one time and not plan to play anymore?
Yeah.
So when you use that and then couple it with no matter what, if we're in this game and we're communicating with words or through body language, I'm manipulating you.
Okay.
There's your answer, essentially. They enter into this game one time to just manipulate that person, essentially, and they get out before the person can realize that they've been manipulated.
What the heck? So what does that lesson teach us? I mean, I could agree with you. Yeah. Hopefully you get away before the other person realizes they were manipulated, right? Hopefully. Because
No,
if not,
I can tell you, and
yeah.
I'm like bridging all this in my mind as you go,
Okay,
which is
good.
exactly what like dialectic dialogos, like what Socrates and all of them used to do.
Welcome to Schoom Speech.
You know, it's so weird how this works too, but like and now you can bring it to normal games, even like not just how I define games, but games in general. But you know when someone's playing the game wrong.
Yeah, right. You can tell a cheater a mile away, right? Someone using
Ex-
cheat codes, all this.
Exactly. Now, if you bring it to the more abstracted game that we're using, again, there's rules and guidelines. We agree to follow them voluntarily.
Yeah.
Now, if you see someone come into that type of arena and they are essentially not playing the game right, and now it becomes like contextual, right? Like, let's say it's a game of like, just like we're just talking. We're just playing a game of talking. The game is I don't get too close to your freaking face, right?
Okay.
I don't get right in front of you. I get back a little bit. That's
Okay.
one rule.
Sure.
Like I don't spit, right? I don't let water out of my mouth hit you in the face. That's another rule. You know,
You
right?
don't raise your voice, right?
Exactly. All these implicit games.
Yeah. All these rules.
So it's really high level. But if you are if you can notice yourself in one of those little specific little games, and you see someone like breaking the rules,
yeah.
I mean, and that's why I think this like psychopathy and psychopaths. I don't even think it's freaking a real thing, man. Like
We're all mass manipulators just looking for the other person that's actually cheat code. Like, right? We're all willing to get into those games, so we're all just looking for the same person. Like, all right, who's gonna bend the rules? Who's gonna break the rules? Let's find out. And then let's freaking shun them, or just we recognize that they're not playing the game properly, and whatever you do with that is your choice. But yeah. We're all mass manipulators then, and we're all just looking for the one person that's using the cheat codes. They're actually cheating.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, even kids can know when someone's cheating in a game. So I wonder where that comes from.
Do you think it's that obvious? Well, I don't know. It's pattern recognition, buddy. Okay, I see 7 people playing a game like this, and this one person is doing this instead. It's a little different. It's pattern recognition. And that's how we call BS, because the one thing that's different is obviously, set aside or something. It's got to be obvious, in my opinion.
That's probably why it gets so like controversial to like, because now there's 2 aspects now. It's like, all right, you're like a dynamic, high level philosophical person where like you don't enter into games traditionally. Like you come with your own. Like you want to create a better game. And that's not typical, right? That's not typical. Like you said, most people are trying to make sure that the pattern stays consistent so no problems sprout out in this confrontation or this talk or this whatever, this little tiny game. So most of us are just, again, like trying to fit in, make sure that we're doing the right thing, right? I'm not getting too close. I'm not spitting on you. I wait till you're done. But like, because obviously not all these games are perfect, right? Or they can always be better. And if you have ideas for what's better, because right, you're like philosophical and different, and you want to like tweak the games or make them better, but now you're sticking out badly. Now
Yeah.
everyone wants to like get you out of the game. They're like, whoa, this guy's freaking weird, man. Like that's the definition of weird in some sense.
Yeah, anything that's external of the norm, right? We've agreed in the past. Or funny, right? We could use the word funny and weird interchangeably because it's anything that you wouldn't expect, right?
So it's like, do you just try to fit in, or do you try to like, I don't even want to say be different, because even that means a bunch, because it's not exactly for this person we're talking about. It's not exactly you're trying to be different. You're trying to like,
or a negative way, right? Right. Usually the word different is shunned. So weird. Weird words are weird, man. You always say that. I agree.
Yeah, it is weird because it's like, I mean, are there any negatives to just fitting into the pattern?
Well, no, but that fitting into the pattern is the negative of its own, at least in my opinion. You should strive to be different. That just means you're not asking different questions. That just means you're complying, right? Why would you want to comply? There shouldn't be a such thing as a norm, right? But obviously we understand we live in this real world like together, right? And all the weird stuff we see on the news and stuff. So there's definitely lines of weird. But
Well,
where do you draw the lines now is freaking, you and I talk about the guy all the time. I don't remember his name. Was that Hermes as well, of like one really side this and one really side that, and we got to find a thing? Was that Hermes?
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
Okay. So, yeah, that's why, and labeling and framing everything is so important, man. Ah, dude, so interesting.
Well, because my mind was thinking, like, well, there's huge advantages to like just complying. The big advantage is, as long as I'm doing what everyone else is doing, then I'm going to fit in with them. And like, if I need help or if I ask for help, they'll help me now because I'm one of them. I fit in with them. I'm one of them. I need your help. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you're not weird. Yeah, sure, I'll help you out. That's
very interesting.
Huge benefit.
Yeah. Yep. What do they call that? Networking and things like that kind of thing. Yeah, networking definitely helps if you're a likable character. Is that
what are the negatives? What are the negatives to fitting in and complying?
Yeah, right. They're very seldom, right? You're not going to be called an idiot, and you're not going to be, like, yeah, they're not going to bash you and kick you out of the village because you're normal, because you're like your other neighbors. Yeah, people always get shunned away whenever they're different.
I wonder, and this isn't something that you can think of like propositionally as you're seeing it, but I wonder if is it possible that like that can go too far. Like, I don't know how it would manifest in words in your own head, but basically what I'm trying to say is like, you see someone trying to like comply or fit in too much. You're like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Is that possible?
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Like, whoa, this guy's trying too hard to fit in, man. This is freaking weird, dude.
Yeah, what the heck? That would be interesting to see. What does that look like, right? I don't know. Would that be the way I dress? Like the guys behind me? Like, is that fitting into? I don't even know.
So I feel like it would have to, at some point it would definitely have to, right? I mean,
At what point, is it too much though?
Do you think that's possible?
I don't even know.
Think if me and you were hanging out and then some random person came up to us and like tried super hard to fit into our conversation. We'd be like, whoa, like this is kind of weird.
Yeah,
You'd think this is kind of weird, right? Wouldn't you?
So framing it this way, I've thought about this before too. Like, like I do it sometimes. I'll be walking in public, say I'm at the mall, and I see a group of people that I feel like I'll probably mesh with well. Dude, if I just go up and I just introduce myself and then just start right into it, yeah, I think that there will be a point there that it's like, who the heck is this guy? Right? Yeah. Like, we don't know who this guy is. He just came up, shook my hand, said his name, and then asked me how I felt about something crazy. No, I don't. Still not acceptable. It still takes time, right? You still have to go through the social acceptance. Okay, why do we think this person's normal? And all of these things. That takes time. Yeah, prove yourself. And I don't like that it's like that though. Still, I wish that it could be more like what I was explaining of where I see people congregating anyway, and I think I fit in with them, and I just walk up and introduce myself and go along with it that way and start playing the social norm thing. Yeah, I wish it was like that more.
You cut out at the end of that.
I wish it was more like that. I wish that was more likely. I wish that was possible. I don't think it's so much possible. All right, cool. A good leader is a good teacher. And I kind of already know where this goes, but yeah, let's record it and put it on frame.
A good leader is a good teacher. Oh man, I guess technically, I would agree because of how I was talking about participatory and perspectival knowing. Because I would make the argument, and I want to give you time to talk really quick. I'd make the argument that the best type of teaching isn't done with words. Now, but I want to hear what do you got?
I agree with that. The best type of teacher is the one that demonstrates, right? I'll demonstrate this action for you. If I want you to put chicken nuggets in a tray and I put it in the oven for a set amount of time at a set temperature, I'm going to first show you that maybe once, maybe twice, then let you do it, and then I'll watch over you as you do so. And yeah, yep. And I think I agree with you. I think yes, a good leader is a good teacher. And yeah, if I expect you to do anything properly, right, I need to show you what that even looks like. And I don't think it's something that can be done in words either, which is why whenever I make a mistake, I always ask, you want me to show you or do you want me to tell you? I think that's a good place to start when you mess up.
Humans are really weird, man, because I went to like heroes, and I know typically that I'll go to childhood, right? And you'll have usually like a superhero or something.
Okay.
But I feel like we never stop having heroes. But where I was going with this is it's like, even we'll use a childhood one. When you're a child and your superhero is Spider-Man, like it's nothing that Spider-Man says that makes him your hero.
Okay. I like where you're going with this.
And I just that's like the weird part that I like. What like that's so weird. Like, isn't
But
that?
I have a question though. I like where your mind went. I went to business management and kind of thing like that, or like maybe even being a parent. My list was chicken nuggets. I was thinking about like, yeah, my son. I teach him how to make nuggets. He's like 13 years old, kind of thing. But whatever, scrap that because you went to Spider-Man. I like that. But why would a superhero like Spider-Man or any one of these, right, be your hero? They never saved you.
That's so weird. Because now my mind went to because you brought up parents, so it's like if your parent's your hero, or even your parent, it's like it's nothing they say that makes them your hero or your parent.
Yeah, I agree with you. Still, it's the action of their compassion and teaching you along it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's really weird because yeah, we're gonna save that for our upcoming podcast because it's like what even makes someone a parent, dude? Like I don't know. That's crazy because like you act like a parent, like all right, but if someone else is acting like that, are they your parent now? So it's more than just how they acting, right? No, it's crazy.
Yeah, right. I agree. Right before we let it rip, I want to just say this. We're probably going to be ending this soon. I think this one went on far. Schopenhauer says everything in the world is only relative to an object or an idea. I think this is why for humans to understand something, we try to reword it, rephrase it, and relate it to us personally. I do this all the time, trying to bring an abstract idea to a concrete visual in my mind. So yeah, it's just like my last little statement thing on this episode. I wanted to bring that back to, and it's interesting because we did it the whole episode, bringing an abstract thought or something to a parent, a superhero. How can I relate this question discussion to something that I can also maybe visually obtain, if we will, right? Is that the word I'm looking for here, maybe? But yeah, when I heard that, I had to put it in my notes, and I was like, dude, we can let that rip real quick. But yeah, it's true. Even you do it. You thought about superheroes and chessboards.
Thinking about what you said from Schopenhauer, it's like, so on the, like, take your stance here, because I go back and forth, and I just thought about it a couple, like 2 days ago. They say, oh, like when a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound or not? Thinking about what you heard from Schopenhauer, like which one do you choose?
Oh, yeah, I think that tree still makes a sound when it falls, buddy. Of course. Just because you don't hear it, it's still a sound.
So isn't that directly contradictory to the Schopenhauer quote?
No,
You to
I
read it?
feel like it should be more of common knowledge. Like, well, does a tree always make a sound whenever you hear one fall down? So you could only relate to it. But I guess it goes back to my other question of we can only relate to something. What did I say? You remember what I said?
The
We
quote?
can only reflect on something that was a personal experience, right? So I think that kind of goes into that with that a little bit.
I mean, it's a slippery slope because
Have
now,
you ever heard a tree fall down silently?
no, of course. Well, it's a good question. That is a good question, actually. It's a really good question.
I guess that would be the only way to combat that. If a tree falls down, does it make a sound? Well, if no one's around to hear it, I think is the phrase. If no one is around to hear
Yeah.
the tree fall, does it still make a sound? I think that's the question. And
And you're positing yes, right?
yeah, my answer would still be of course, because I've never heard a tree fall silently.
So I think that's a slippery slope because now, as humans, we're gonna start like inferring and like extrapolating that to other instances. Because what you said also is that things I don't need to see or hear or whatever experience something for it to happen. So what you're also saying is like, well, that means that things like have I don't want to say the word things, but things have things just regardless, like period. Now, if you take that sentence, because you say that too, so if you take that sentence, now you like extrapolate that to other stuff, like, oh well, but what you're saying is like, all right, well, things have value, and I am just there to just see the value that it has.
Okay, I agree. So do you think that a fire is hot even if you aren't feeling it?
I'm glad you see where I'm going with this, and you could probably already see my stance now on it from
A
how.
little bit. I want you to
Yeah,
say it.
yeah, I'm on the fence still. I'm on the fence still. The more I learn,
No.
the more I start teetering. But because it's like, all right, so that means things are just beautiful then. Then
Yep.
that means everything's beautiful then.
Right.
Then that means nothing's not beautiful. Like it's a slippery slope. Because remember, right? Remember, it was like, all right, well, I am just a thing that picks up the value that that thing already has independent from me noticing it or realizing it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So since I just pick up on it, that means everything is just reverberating, and I'm using beauty as an example. Everything's just reverberating and shining with beauty, and I just so happen looking at it. But that
Right.
can't be true because obviously there's things that aren't beautiful. Or if everything was beautiful, then nothing's beautiful. So it's not that I just. Do you get kind of the argument I'm making here?
Yes, I do. My
Things
question, I guess, would be at what point are we able to frame something to be beautiful or not? Right? Isn't that just an opinion?
so then boom. So then isn't the tree just making a sound? Are making a sound when I'm not around? That's just an opinion then. But that doesn't sound right. That's
Yeah,
not
that
fair.
doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound
But
right.
it's the same argument though. That's why,
Mm.
and some in a deep and multiple levels, that is the same argument, and that's why it's a slippery slope. Because the basis of that argument of if I'm not around, the tree will still make a sound, is that I don't know how it's wording it. I can't really word it really smartly, but things do things regardless of me realizing or noticing it.
Right. But I agree with that because an atom acts differently underneath of a microscope once viewed versus not being viewed, right? But
If things just try to branch it, because it's tough, and I'm not the best at wording it, but it's tough. But if things do things or have things, and I'm just there to notice it, that means that I am just realizing what it already has.
Okay.
Now, if that's true, that means everything is just reverberating. You know what I mean by reverberating? Yep. Everything is just emanating everything.
Right.
Beauty, disgust, I don't know, value, no value.
Yeah, black, all white. At once, and then it's only in the eyes of the beholder. Is that what you're kind of trying to say?
No, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off either. So what I was saying was, I agree with where you're going with this. All things just are things, right? And then whatever you say, beautiful, not beautiful, loud, quiet, hot, cold, is only in the eyes of the beholder, right? Your experience with it, right?
Well, I haven't really said anything yet, and I'm not actually saying that everything is just emanating all possibility. I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is these things, I don't think it's that, actually. I don't think it's that. I don't think everything is just emanating beauty, and then I just so happen to get to look at it.
Okay.
That can't be true, because if that was true, then I couldn't call anything not beautiful, because it's a fact. It's emanating it. It's reverberating. It's an empirical fact. It's completely beautiful. It's absolutely emanating it, so much so that I'm looking at it now, and cool. Now I can pick up on the beauty that it factually is emanating. It's objectively emanating.
Okay.
If that was true, then I couldn't call it ugly.
Yeah.
So that can't be true. Right. And in some level that relates to this tree thing, because but then it sounds stupid to not say that oh well, the tree doesn't make noise. But I don't know. That's why I'm like still on the fence with it. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, because it's like, it's tough, man. It's like, I don't know. It sounds silly, but it's an interesting argument, man. They've been talking about it forever. Do trees make noise when no one's around?
I say yes, and I say yes just because of the same idea of. Oh, I was gonna tell you somewhere. Anyway, this probably going on too far. What?
Well, but it's like, then it's like picking and choosing.
I know, like, that's where it's getting in my brain too. It's like, dude.
Yeah,
picking and choosing, and it's like, well, I don't know. And I'm already a very opinionated person, so I don't know. Take everything I say even with a grain of salt.
Tell me when you say picking and choosing, tell me what you mean by that. I want to see if we're on the same page.
Yeah, picking and choosing, like if one is one thing and it's super objective, and the other one is something else, like on a complete opposite side of the scale. At least that's kind of where my brain's going with it. Like, how would we know it then? Well, my brain first went to chicken and the egg, and I was like, dude, we'll probably never know this answer then, because that tree can only make a sound then if you're there to hear it. But that doesn't logically make sense.
Exactly.
So this is why I'm arguing with myself, and I was about to end it right here. Like, dude, whatever. I'm gonna study some more, and I'll come back I'll re-hit this topic in 6 months and tell you what I feel.
Yeah, no, we can't end it, and I'm glad that you use that language picking and choosing, because when you say the answer that you said, that's exactly what you're doing. You're saying I pick and choose what's subjective and what's objective.
I know, and that's garbage, buddy. There's no justice in that. That's why it's garbage, right?
Okay, I like that. Damn, you're getting poetic.
Sorry.
I have to start calling you Plato.
Yeah, tell her John the Don. Don't forget it.